What up, guys? What up, guys? What up, guys? Welcome to a live review of James Clear's Atomic Habits. My name is James Rico. I'm a writer, director, DP, editor, business owner. I've been doing music videos for the last 12 years, and which is something I specialize in. And now I'm working towards becoming a director in feature films. So I'm working on my first feature film. And with that big task on my hand, I'm reading more and I'm putting myself in the position to continue other goals, which is education. And education in forms of motivation, education in forms of technical knowledge. And so I've started this fun series where I've been just reviewing things that I'm reading to you guys as I read them, one chapter a day. And today's chapter is How Your Habits Shape Your Identity and Vice Versa. So I'm going to keep this one short and sweet because I know the reviews I've been doing in the last month have been pretty long. They're like 35 minutes to almost an hour. So today I'm going to try to keep it to the clip notes, and then you guys get to go read the book for yourself. And I'll do two things. I'm going to set a timer for 5 minutes, and I'm going to try to make sure that I get just the summary of the chapter out the way. And then I'll give you about 5 minutes of how I've related to what the chapter is speaking about. So I'm going to give you some clip notes. Here we go. Setting the timer, 5 minutes. Let's see if we can get it done. All right. So again, title is How Your Habits Shape Your Identity and Vice Versa. He says, changing our habits is challenging for two reasons. We try to change the wrong thing, and we try to change our habits in the wrong way. So this chapter is going to focus on the first point. We try to change the wrong thing. Now I'll go over to the chapter summary, which he lays out pretty nicely in the back in page 41. And I'm going to connect a couple things. So the first point that he wants you to remember out of this chapter is there are three levels of change: outcome change, process change, and identity change. What does that mean? The first layer is changing your outcomes. This level is concerned with changing your results: losing weight, publishing a book, winning a championship. Most of our goals you set are associated with this level. The second layer is changing the process. This level is concerned with changing your habits and systems, implementing a new routine at the gym, decluttering your desk for a better workflow. The third level is, third and deepest level is changing your identity. This level is concerned with changing your beliefs, your worldview, your self-image, your judgments about yourself. The second thing that he wants you to remember about this chapter is the most effective way to change your habits is to not focus on what you want to achieve, but on who you wish to become. So he gives an example of a smoker, someone that's offered a cigarette, who's trying to quit smoking, and they say, no, thanks, I'm trying to quit. There's a difference between that and saying, no, thanks, I'm not a smoker. That person that says, no, thanks, I'm not a smoker, is no longer identifying as someone who smokes. So this is that process that he mentioned before, which is the identity process. The third thing he wants you to remember about this chapter is your identity emerges out of your habits. Every action is a vote for that type of person you wish to become. Again, your identity emerges out of your habits. Every action is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. And what does he mean by a vote? So think of it like this. Every action you take is voting for that type of person you wish to become. So there's no single instance in which you transform your beliefs. If you do it one time, obviously it's not going to feel like you're becoming that person. But if you do it a bunch of times, then you begin to believe that you're that person. The most particular way to change who you are is to change what you do. Each time you write a page, you're a writer. Each time you play the violin, you're a musician. Each time you start a workout, you're an athlete. Each time you encourage your employees, you're a leader. The fourth thing he wants you to remember about this chapter is becoming the best version of yourself requires you to continuously edit your beliefs and upgrade I'll repeat that. Becoming the best version of yourself requires you to continuously edit your beliefs and to upgrade and expand your identity. So he says this is a two-step process. You first have to decide the type of person you want to be. And then the second one is prove it to yourself with small wins. The last thing he wants you to remember about this chapter is the real reason habits matter is not because they can get you better results, although they can do that, but because they can change your beliefs about yourself. So he mentions you need to know who you want to be. Then he says you have the power to change your beliefs about yourself. Your identity is not set in stone. You have a choice in every moment. You can choose the identity you want to reinforce today with the habits you choose today. And he says this brings us to the deeper purpose of the book and the real reason habits matter. You quite literally, you become your habits. Boom. We got 26 seconds left. Let's see. Let me give you another point he mentions in here that I really liked. See if I could give you one more. He says, as you repeat actions, the evidence accumulates and your self-image begins to change. The effect of one-off experiences tend to fade away while the effect of habits gets reinforced with time, which means your habits contribute most of the evidence that shapes your identity. So how does this relate to myself and what I do? From my experience, in the very beginning stage of me trying to become a director, I was always so timid about saying that I'm a director. Whenever anybody asked me what I did, because I was a freelancer and because I didn't work for anybody, I worked for myself, I was so nervous about how to say that. This is back in 2011 and 12, trying to figure it out. So anytime anybody asked me, I wasn't really sure what to say, right? I wasn't really sure how to get myself a title. I knew that I was interested in video and I knew I was interested in movies, but I couldn't say that I was a director in my mind because I felt like it was such a big title. And then everybody that would talk about it would revere it so godlike, where it's like, hey, if you say you're a director, you need to be doing these things, right? You just can't. Nobody just could say they're a director. And I at one point I understand what they meant when they said that, and so I was always very timid in saying that I'm a filmmaker, even because I was making music videos. Although the art music videos has a lot to do with how you make films. So eventually I started to call myself a director, but it took me a long time. And the moment I started to do that, I felt more confident because, in my opinion, I felt like I had the imposter syndrome where I felt like I was more of a video person or a cameraman or someone that knew how to shoot and edit, but I wasn't really sure what directing meant just yet. I was discovering it, right? But over time, I decided to identify myself as a director. Let me set this. I got 5. Let me set for four more minutes. Sorry, I didn't set my timer. Okay. The second thing that I experienced is when I said I'm a DP. When I started to direct only for like 2 years between 2019 and 2021, I was always trying to make sure like I used to hire a friend of mine, Logan Mize, who did a lot of the DP work, and I would hire other DPs alongside of them depending on what I was doing, and I would only want to direct, right? I was wanting to learn how to direct and only direct, and I enjoyed that time of only directing and started to learn more and have confidence about myself as a director. But then after a while, I was like, hey, I miss wanting to be a DP, and I feel like I can't call myself a DP anymore, even though I had a lot to do with what frames were chosen, what the lighting was doing, because I knew from my experience what I wanted as a director. And so I felt like I was losing the title of DP, and I wanted to go back to just being a DP and identifying myself as one and learning lighting again. And yes, it was true at the time. I really felt like I lost a lot of my skill sets, but when I started to go back and I started working on it, I felt like I was getting it back, and I finally felt like I could call myself a DP again today. The third and hardest one was the idea of being an artist versus a business owner. A lot of times we creatives want to say that we're just artists and we're not business owners, which again, subconsciously, I think affects the way that we approach business and how we don't want to learn it, or we don't want to put ourselves out there and say that we're a business owner that's growing. You know, we're a growing business, instead of having the mindset of, yes, I am a business owner, and taking responsibility for what comes with that, and learning that it's okay to fail, and you're probably going to fail and it's going to suck. But the fact that you're saying you're a business owner is going to keep your mind open to the ideas that come around when other business owners come and want to talk about business. Even though you can learn from those people versus being timid and saying, well, I'm an artist first. I know that I've had that experience before, saying that I'm only an artist and I'd rather do art than be a business owner. But unfortunately, as freelancers, if you want to work for yourself, not unfortunately, fortunately, if you want to work for yourself, you can, but that requires knowledge of business to sustain a life that you want. If you want to make more money, or if you want to grow it and have other people work for you, you're going to have to learn about business. So I am now, like, over the last 2-3 years, calling myself a business owner. Or I'm the owner of the business, you know, and having that feeling and respect towards it. The newest and most current one is the one that he mentions earlier, and it's the one where I'm a writer. That has been the one that probably I've wanted to become the most in the last, like, maybe 6-7 years of my life, but I never spent time writing. Writing like original things that I wanted to say, right? I would find periods in which I was writing something that I thought was really cool and funny, but I would never share it with anybody. I would just write things and have a bunch of scripts that no one will probably ever see. And I have always had that conflict of being known and saying and being proud of saying I'm a writer. And it's mainly because I wasn't writing, right? I wasn't even giving myself time to write maybe a page or two a day, something that small. And I realized by this chapter is that I am a writer, and I have been writing for many years. I've been writing a lot of scripts for music videos. I just had a different way of expressing my writing. Writing in forms of treatments, writing in forms of journaling. I journal a whole bunch and I keep that stuff to myself. I write a whole bunch when it comes to logging how I did on a project. I do a ton of writing that's not maybe what I consider to be a writer, right? In school, I don't think I was that great of a writer. I think English was, maybe I got a C in or something. I wasn't really great, didn't really know how to pay attention to that stuff in a way that they are teaching me. But I enjoy writing. I enjoy journaling. I enjoy elaborating on things and helping others. So recently, as I've been writing in the last year and a half on and off my script, I've felt more confidence in that. And the thing that I want to mention is I have to remind myself is it's the small wins. Every time I sat there hours behind the computer and wrote even 2 pages, that's me being the writer. And to know that I am a writer, and the more confidence and the more that I believe in that identity, the more I will shape my habits in doing it. Meaning I'm going to want to write every day because I know I'm a writer. And I'm not going to say, well, I'm trying to be. So I love this chapter about changing your identity, whatever you want. He says start there first again. And I think this is a really powerful chapter, especially for you people out there that are wanting to become something. So with that being said, I want to say I would love to hear what you're trying to become in the comment section. I would love to see what your thoughts are on habit forming and how you formed habits in the past. But I think this is a really brilliant chapter. Very easy, very easy to understand and to follow along. I think so far I'm on page 35, so I'm excited to get through this thing. I feel like I'm going to learn so much and develop the habits that I'm trying to develop so that I could become a writer, a better business owner, be more conscious about my health, be a better friend, be a better husband, be a better father, as in all aspects of my life, not just my professional one. So great book. Pick it up. Again, it's James Clear, Atomic Habits. I'm looking forward to reviewing the next one. So thank you so much for paying attention. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, peace.